Good evening, people. Vanakkam. Thank you so much for joining. The topic is interpersonal skills key to success. So we have with us Mr. Jay Murugan. Man, good evening.
Good evening, Surya. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're perfectly clear, man.
Sure. That's good.
Okay, man, it is time that you can go on starting the session. Right?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm just sharing my screen.
Yeah.
The screen visible?
Perfectly clear, man. Perfectly clear.
I'll not be able to see the screen. I mean, the window.
No,
No?
we'll be directly presenting it. So you can just switch over. You can just keep go on presenting it. No problem.
Yeah. Sure, sure.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Very pleasant day today. So today we are going to see certain aspects of interpersonal skills key to success. So how interpersonal skills be or it is a key to success. That's what we are going to deal today. Well, Aristotle once said, man is a social animal. The reason being is a man cannot live independent and we have to depend on others. And of course, we are a social being and being a social being, interpersonal skills is something where one or more people, I mean, two or more people involved. There is more than one people involved. So what makes it a skill which is required for development, which is required for growth in life, which is required for, say, for example, whichever the field we may take and whichever field we may work on, we may live in, right? The interpersonal skills always, it is always employed there. So what we do in our day-to-day life, first thing, we speak with people, of course, when we are, we are even we are when we are alone, we speak. But when it comes to interpersonal, we speak with others. We listen to people. That is, when someone else speaks, we do listen. Some noise in between. Please check it out, Surya. I think there's some noise in
Uh,
between.
I'm monitoring it. I'm monitoring it. Please go on the session.
Please. Okay. So we do what we do in day-to-day life. We speak, we listen. So we talk to each other. We talk to others. We when others talk, we do listen. There is a difference between listening and hearing. But here we will keep the context to listen. We manage. What is that we manage here? That's none other than the relationship which we have. It might be a friend. It might he or she might be a friend. It might be a friendship relationship. It might be a business relationship. It might be a family relationship. It might so we call relative, right? Relative relations. Right? And again, it is nothing but the management of relationships. So I'm going to keep the context within this fold. That is speaking, listening, and managing relationships. What we do in day-to-day life. That's what is more. I'm going to address today. Well, key facts. I call it complete communication. People talk about communication a lot of times. Whenever I go meet people around and when I address school students and college students, we talk about communication, how we should communicate. Here, I mention something called complete communication, where you can see the ingredients of complete communication, non-verbal as well as verbal communication. So what we infer from being non-verbal communication, the non-verbal communication is nothing but the attire, the body language we have, and it is very famously said. It was in, if if I'm right, it was 1962, 1963, where when the elections were happening between in USA, the presidential election. It was between John F. Kennedy and Nixon. John F. Kennedy had very good body language, and Nixon has very good verbal language, verbal communication. Wherever the television shows were broadcasted, it was found that John F. Kennedy won with better margins. And wherever radio communication went on, right, where there was no visuals and only radio communication was there is verbal communication, Nixon had greater votes. I mean, victory, more victories. So it's very clear when you combine these two, verbal and non-verbal, it becomes a complete communication and becomes so powerful. And becomes so powerful. And I have given the non-verbal as a top preference than the verbal because most of the communication in our life, in day-to-day life, or throughout our life process, it is non-verbal communication which speaks louder than the verbal communication. First, I'll deal with verbal communication, then I'll be going for non-verbal. Verbal communication, choice of words we use to speak. We should be careful enough when we talk, be it business relationship, be it any other relationship, be it a family member, be it a person, acquainting, right? The choice of words we use to speak is used to measure our character. Is used to measure our character and make sure, and it decides who we are to. The choice of words, of course, the choice of words decides who we are to. To test this, I would suggest you to test it once, or maybe you can watch movies and understand that. If you go to Chennai, in Chennai, if you take an auto, or if you overtake an auto, if you just overspeed him and do something, and you get a wonderful words coming out of his mouth, and to understand that it is really what we've been bizarre thought why this man is speaking this way. So choice of words we speak is something tells who we are. Say when we go for shopping, if a person starts shouting in a shop, say for example, you take a product and you mishandle it, it is possible that the shopkeeper says that you have to pay the bill because you mishandled it, you broke it. There are two aspects here. The shopkeeper might approach you in a very gentle way, ma'am or sir, this is the product which you handled got broken. You need to pay for this. But however, something when the communication is gentle, when the choice of words is very gentle, and the factors go with that with the words. When the choice of words is very soothing and soft here. Say for example, rather the rude words, if we use a word which is comfortable enough to accept, should be chosen here. And along with the words, this is something very important which we face in our day-to-day life. Tone of the voice. The tone of the voice, even something right said in a wrong tone, becomes a disaster. Say, for example, I would say this example wherever I go. If in case you can see this at your home. If your dad asks your mom, or if your mom asks your dad, I would like to have 100 rupees to purchase something. Say, for example, chocolates. Right? This is one way of asking. I would like to have 100 rupees to purchase chocolate. Get me 100 rupees, I want to buy chocolate. Again, the tone and the voice. So, the words which we choose also plays a role in the tone of the voice. So remember always, choose those words which are appropriate to the situations and use the tone which are appropriate to the situation. So this is very important in terms of verbal communication. The second factor in complete communication is non-verbal. First thing is the body language. Second one is listening. Right. Why I give importance to body language and dressing? Body language is something which speaks louder. As I already said, it speaks louder, and it always speaks louder than the verbal communication. Say, for example, you make arrange people sit in a line. Tell them to sit in the front, no, at the edge of the chair, and you try this. You can sit back, have your legs, one over the other, and sit on there, and check it out. Ask the people around you who is confident, who is feeling confident, and the person who's sitting in the edge, and the person who's comfortable sitting, having his legs, crossed, one over the other, feels very confident, and that makes a difference. So body language. Body language is something which is used to break others' confidence too. Say, for example, when you enter the interview hall, the interviewing officer definitely not going to be very rude at you, but the way and the posture he sits in matters a lot, and that disturbs us, and that thereby confidence is confidence is slowly broken. So body language matters a lot. Be it an interview, be it in a family situation, be it in friendship circle, or be it in any place for that matter, even the workspace. The dressing sense. Coming to the dressing sense. When we are going for a party, we used to choose some shiny dresses. And that's a party, we know that, right? It speaks good that if some person who you see on the way wears some shiny dress, we will obviously think that 6 in the evening we think he's going to have a party. So think of a person dresses the same way and goes to a funeral. And of course, coming to the body language too, the dressing and the body language combination. He's wearing a party dress to the funeral and he wears a smile on his face at the funeral. Think of the response what he will get. It is very clear that each situation demands a different body language and different dressings. So make sure in which place you are and dress appropriately and develop certain body language which is appropriate for that particular situation. That is very important. That's the reason why people used to say, yeah, there's famous going in Tamil like this, saying in Tamil like this, all padi are equal. So it says that no, 50% men and the person, 50% dress. So these two decides people. Okay. And there's one more saying, men are known by shoes, and of course dressing. So we identify their character based on their dressing style. So non-verbal communication plays a greater role. When it comes to interpersonal skills, employing this non-verbal skill, the non-verbal communication and verbal communication is very imperative and it is very important too. And only when we appropriately implement this verbal and non-verbal communication in an appropriate place, we will be able to make an effective communication. And when I say effective communication, of course, this involves communicating with the people around you, which means social being. Well, there are a few techniques which I would like to share here that you can gain rapport by matching body language. These will help you understand, help you in developing the better communication with the people, to develop your social skills. Matching the breathing pattern. I would like to try, I always try some experiments when I walk on the road. I just pair with the person who is walking along the road. Now I just match the steps. I just match the steps. And when I run cross country, I just match my breathing pattern with the person the person who's running along with me. And over a period of time, when I match with him, he tries. When I slow down. He tends to slow down, which means that I start. No, my way of running has started influencing him. So building rapport through body language, and when you build a rapport with the others, obviously you start interacting socially. So you can use your breathing pattern to bring out the rapport. The posture, it plays a vital role. It plays an important position in getting the rapport. Postures. I say this whenever it comes to family. Say for example, when two people are very angry, son and dad is very angry. Okay, this usually happens in family. It happens with the people who love each other. Right? They're angry. Obviously we also see this in the movies too. Right? What they do, they the person who is very angry, is not, is not is annoying, is not accepting the other person. Now the other person starts, posing the same posture what the other person does. Say for example, dad is very angry. The son tries to give the same posture. Say for example, dad is very angry and closing his eyes, or generally it is reverse. The son is very angry, closing his eyes, crying, and dad does that. When dad does that, the what happens? The posture is getting matched. You can try this. Close his eyes, gets up, stands up. Something. The kids do this always. So when you try to match up their postures, obviously, at one point of time, the communication is established. Okay, the anger is gone down, and they start communicating. So posture will help in developing the trust. Apart from this, gestures very effective in gaining the rapport. The gestures we show, the gestures, the wishes, the hand gestures we use. Sometimes, if you're showing a pointing finger, it might be offensive to them. And when show the whole, when you spread the arms and say, "Hi, welcome," that's good. When you point a finger, yes, you're welcome. No, when you show a single hand, welcome, then it becomes what sometimes they might feel offensive, or sometimes they may not be feeling offensive. But when you open up your arms and you welcome somebody, yeah, welcome. Welcome on board. We are very happy to receive you. And the gestures which you show plays a vital role. It makes them confident, it makes them comfortable around you, and you can develop the social aspects there. The communication is established, and that goes well. Next is eye contact. When we speak, when we have the eye contact, it makes people very clear that we understand them, we listen to them, we are keenly watching them, we keenly listen to them. So eye contact is something which ensures that we are able to connect with them. So when it is in the interpersonal skills, you need to maintain eye contact to get to know the other people, that you are listening to them carefully. Next is you can know how you can match your voice tone. Maybe you can match the speed of the speech, speed of the speech, match the volume of the speech, match the rhythm of the speech. So you can do all the three in this case when it comes to the tone, the speed, the volume, the rhythm. When you try to match these things, obviously there is some point at which the communications get initiated and the problem is resolved. and some characteristic sounds which the other person who often uses it. So these are some of the factors which will help you in developing the verbal and non-verbal communication when it comes to interpersonal relationships. And the final part which I would like to highlight here is the relationship management. This is where most of the people uh, feel like, no, why I'm not able to communicate to most of the people, why I'm not able to be successful in running a business. Say, for example, when it comes to a business, the relationship management is very essential. The relationship between the manager and his team, between the team leader and the manager, between the manager and the the managing director, right? So down the line, from top to bottom, the relationship management should be ensured. An organization which ensures this relationship management, which balances and which makes sure that from top to bottom, the relationship is completely ensured without any blockade, then the organization grows very well. Think of this, the relationship between a teacher and a student. Even there, the interpersonal skills play a vital role. How a teacher communicates to the students and how the students communicate to the teacher. Here again, the verbal, non-verbal, and the relationship factor. When there is a mismatch in all these factors, say for example, verbal communication, there is a verbal, say for example, when a student is given a scolding by the teacher, say for example, you will not get good marks, you will never study well. So these language makes makes an impact in the child, in the heads of the students. So rather, if the same teacher uses the other word, I think you can improve more the choice of words and the tone. Well, now I see there's a good mark from you, say maybe out of 100 you get 40. Now I see 40 here, wonderful. Why not we try to get 60? Come on, let's try next time. So next time you should read well and take 60 marks. And that's an encouraging words which is going around. And the tone you can see, he or she is trying to infuse something which is very happy and joyful. The same factor, last time you scored 40. Okay, you got 40 marks, you can improve. You can do one thing. You can always get 60 marks in the next test. Go do it. Same content delivered in different terms. So when you take up this factor, you should always keep in mind you should employ verbal and tone, both aspects, the words which we speak and the tone. And when we have visual communications, the visual aspects, I used to say this over the phone. If you're most of the communication nowadays happens through email, through over the phone call most of the times. So over the phone call, you will not people will may not be able to see voice calls. People may not be able to see the posture, etc., etc. We don't need that, of course. It's a voice call. Okay, right. Here, your words and the tone is very important. We can sometimes when you're far away from your home, your parents, your family members call you. They ask you, "How are you, gentlemen? How are you, girl?" And you say, "Yeah, I'm fine." That's more than enough to understand that be it your parents or whoever it is from the other side, they will understand that you are not well, and that depends on the tone. And yes, when it comes to relationship management, the voice and tone plays a role. Something apart from these two, which makes the main or the important ingredient is emotions. Emotions. Emotions is something which we deal in our day-to-day life. Every day, right from the morning till the time we go to bed, we are filled with a lot of emotions in a single day. We might be happy, we might be sad, we might be very energetic. No, all the factors. happy, sorrow, say anger, any kind of emotions. The bundle of emotions which keeps running in your mind. And what is that which helps in relationship management? Being empathetic. What is being empathetic? To understand others. To understand others, and we are able to see the needs of the others. When we are able to see the needs of the others, obviously we can make our communication effective. Without understanding the needs of the others, I'm not saying the needs of others doesn't mean the financial need or the say for example other say for you might be having some other aim, etc. We don't see when it comes to business, we have certain things to run on. The organization goals are there, and we need to run the organization. We need to make them to work for the organizational goal. And here, if you are not empathetic to understand the people, you will not be able to employ a right person there. So, in order to employ the right person, you need to know the other's emotion too. Whether he will be able to give us 100%, he will be able to be effective in what he does. So, you need to check all these factors. And if there is some issue, you should be able to help him or assist him to get away with the solution, to get the solution, or to get away with the conflict. Do you want to be successful in life? And definitely, social skills is the answer for that. Wherever you go, it is social skills which will make you go greater, grow greater, and go faster. So, what is the basic? I said no right from the beginning. I said verbal, non-verbal communication, and these two comes out with a complete communication. Then comes your rapport building. That is how you can match up, how you can increase the interpersonal skills or develop the, take further the interpersonal skills and the relationship management. How you are empathizing others to understand them and to understand and able to address their needs. How can one improve social skills? Coming to the point, how we can improve the social skills. Take initiative to start the interaction. And how we take initiative to start the interaction? We will be most of the time people are very hesitant to talk to other people. When you go from one state to other state, people are hesitant to take help from others. People are hesitant to ask for help. People are hesitant to move. Say for example, if you want to ask the address, you're not no one is not comfortable to ask the person who's nearby. He searches for the auto driver or somebody else. Why this happens? Because they are not ready to take initiative and how to start the interaction and how to take the initiative to start the interaction. And this part is very difficult. Breaking the ice is very tough here in this moment. Taking initiative. And for this, I would suggest you to practice meeting people and talking to them. Start being an active listener. This is very important to understand others, even emotionally. And to be into other shoes and understand them, we got to be a active listener. Only when you are active listener, we'll be able to understand the other's emotion. And of course, this gives a way to become, to give the conversation, to involve in the conversation. Once you actually listen to them, maybe if you have few points, you can share with them. And you can take initiative, or you just listen and then start involved in the interaction. Either way, it is very very feasible. So start being an active listener to understand others completely. Putting yourself in others' shoes to understand and others' needs. So social skills. Basically, when someone says that, oh no, I have this problem, I have that problem, I'm not able to, say for example, I need to go home, the COVID is spreading in Chennai, I need to go home, I need to go to native, etc. etc. You might be feeling terribly pressurized because of that, but still, the person who is in another city, maybe down south, may not be knowing how the pressure he or she has. Now, in order to understand that, you have to think from his or her shoes to make yourself comfortable to have a conversation with the other person. And when you do that, and that becomes easy to convince him or to influence your point of view. When it comes to business, the clients are very important for the business. And here, you should always any person any person who's doing business should be able to empathize clients. They should be in their shoes and think what is the best thing they expect, why he thinks so. And if you understand why he or she thinks so, then the clients will be one of the most beneficial from us. At the same time, they will be very happy that no, they had the complete product what they wanted to have, or the complete service what they wanted to have. And here, this becomes wonderful. Here, no, the satisfaction part is very high. When the satisfaction part becomes very high, and again, the business goes on very well. So, empathizing is very important when it comes to business. When it comes to business and the clients, and it should be very proper, such that the needs of the clients are understood very clearly. Always being in other shoes help you to understand clearly. Be a trustworthy and reliable person. This is very crucial for any relationship. The trustworthiness or reliability breaks up, then obviously the relationship gets spoiled. Where we are social beings, we should be trustworthy and reliable. There might be question. Most of the times, I am not able to be, I am not able to trust others. Say, for example, in an organization, if the team manager doesn't have the team leader doesn't have the trust in his team, trust on his team, obviously, what happens? He tends to check every now and then whether he doesn't have trust, no? Whether the work is going properly or not, whether will they clear this particular project within the particular time or not. So he keeps asking, these questions keeps running. His mental peace is already lost. Be a trustworthy and reliable person is one part, and trusting others is also another part. And once you start being a trustworthy and reliable person, obviously the other person develops trust on you. So it's going to get balanced now. So always remember these are these are some there are many skills. And today what I concentrated on was on this part. That is the communication and the relationship management, right? And how can one improve social skills is this way. Take initiative to start a interaction or conversation. Start being an active listener. Put yourself in others' shoes to understand and address his or her needs. Be a trustworthy and reliable person. So these are the factors which helps one grow their social skills. Yes. When it comes to interpersonal skills, most of the time we think of by the presentation we can learn all these factors, but we learn more from question answer sessions, and that's the reason why I kept my presentation very short, and I wanted to have more more questions so that I can respond. And I'm open to questions now. Yeah, Surya, I think I can stop the sharing, right?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Can I stop the sharing so that I can
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
the questions?
yeah. Please.
Yeah, please, in case if you have any questions, you can ask me.
There is a question already there in the chat, ma'am, for you.
Chat box, I'm just taking a look at it. How can we understand others by just working? By just working, what the others may expect might be different. Okay. Okay. So how can we understand others just working? So when it comes to working, we should generally understand the purpose behind the working. So when we understand the purpose behind the working, we will be able to list on what are the factors which are necessary for that work. That is one. And what the others may expect might be different to our perspective. So you're asking me in case of workspace, am I right, sir? Are you asking me? Yes. In workspace, generally we should align with the organization principles on the or the certain protocols which is already mentioned. Say, for example, any working, any workspace does have the standard operating procedures or the standard protocols which we have to be followed, which has to be followed. And to understand better, obviously, we also say that we have to employ something called the small talks. What we generally say. Small talks means maybe what is exactly needed can be interacted with the teammates, and that is possible. Of course, there will be different perspective. Yes, there will be different perspective which will be evolving. I might be having a different perspective on particular topic. You might be having different different perspective, and Surya might be having a different perspective when it comes to IT sector. When I talk to him, I talk about no IT sector. Yeah, IT sector is this way only. I know that. But he has a different perspective, and that is he has a greater exposure in IT sector, and I have least exposure in IT sector. That's very simple. So here, the important factor is accept what we know first. And once we accept what we know, we have the scope to improve, and we have the scope to understand, but understand and learn new things. And when that is done, obviously the perspectives might match, or the best perspective will be evolving on the discussion, and that's how it comes out. So how can we put ourselves in other shoes? Yes, when it comes to work, obviously if we are in when the manager or being a manager, what the teammates do, and when we provide the best environment for them, obviously the best results will be out, and that's how things go. And it should be aligned. So when we put ourselves in other shoes, here when it comes to organization, we should see how best they can produce the results within the given time, and what makes them block it. Say if you are a manager, and what makes the teammates not to work properly. Say why they are not effective, and if that is understood, obviously you can make it up best. Is teamwork the best? Would you like to be a part or just alone while working? Okay, it depends on the particular work. It depends on the work particularly. Say for example, if it needs more hands to be employed for that particular work. Say for example, the project, say a IT project or a web designer, for example, if a person wants to develop a website, say he might he can approach one designer and he can make it happen. But if there are complex things, he wants his own software. Obviously, there will be many people, many hands writing codes for that, and there the teamwork is needed. Okay, and being a part of the teamwork, this is very essential. When we go as a team, when we are in a team, we are supposed to give the best for the team, not the best of us. We should not fight to show that I am the best here in the team. Rather than when you present the best for the team, obviously the team's recognition will be there for you. And whenever it requests for working alone, I would say I prefer, I just navigate from one place to other place this way. When there's a necessity to work alone, I work alone. When there's a necessity to be part of the team, I be part of the team and work. So that's how it goes. Is empathy and emotional intelligence same? Okay. Uh, Empathy is part of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Sorry, empathy is part of emotional intelligence. There is a complete awareness of the emotion of us, and there is a self-awareness and social awareness, and how we respond to others. Everything comes under the emotional intelligence. Right. And empathy is part of emotional intelligence. It's not separate. It's part of emotional intelligence. Is it more essential to be a good listener or communicator? I would say we should be both. The reason is when we are good listener, we will be able to understand what others think and what is the requirement which is which the others need. That is one. So by being a good listener, we can read between the lines. That is one important aspect here. Being a good listener, you can understand things between the lines. Something which is spoke, when something is spread out by others, we may not understand what sometimes the hidden parts are not revealed. And when we are good listener, we'll be able to understand the hidden parts, which is which is read between the generally we say reading between the lines, or here I would say listening between the lines. Simple. And of course, we are a good listener, and we have to be a good communicator to get the best work out. That is very important. So you got to be a good listener and a good communicator, both. I won't say which is more essential. The reason is both are very important. Both are very important to make the effective work. And in case how to resolve the conflicts at workplace, generally find out the conflict, and if the conflict is personal, and of course it is very different, we cannot address that particular conflict within the workspace. Right. When it comes to the office or organization, remember the organization factor, and based on that, you can always resolve the conflicts. As now we can see a shift from conventional conversation to video calling. What tips do you have to this aspect of communication? Well, that's a nice question. Nowadays, we go for rather than conventional conversation, ideal conversation, we go for video calling. Right? Maintain proper attire, and your facial expressions are very important here, and that shows very clearly whether the opponent who is in your other side will clearly read your expressions. So when it comes to video call, make sure you present yourself in a better way, and the expressions are kept appropriate. Okay. Though in a video call, say for example, 10 people are speaking, one by one they are speaking. If one person is giving an idea which is very pathetic or which is very not good, you should not immediately show your face there. Say for example, hey, what this point here? You just shrink your eyes or do something, then it becomes what? Annoying to everybody who's on video call. So I would suggest you to maintain an appropriate facial expression while on video call. And that is what is important when it is on the video call. When you do this best, and things will happen best. And of course, the attire which we wear, which speak. So the dress part and the facial expression is very important in case of video calls. What do you do to increase your confidence in situations where we really lack in a way, and how to focus on our profile building? What do you do to increase your confidence in situations where we really lack in a way? Okay. Confidence, increasing confidence. Generally, there are few techniques which we use to increase our confidence. It depends on the context. Say, for example, I'm in a context where I don't know things and I sit there dumb, definitely. But it doesn't mean that I should always sit dumb. I can always learn there. So when I have a learning mind, obviously, when I have a learning mind, obviously my confidence will be high if I learn something which I don't know. That is one way to keep ourselves confident. And when I know something, when I am told to present something, obviously I do a lot of research and work out and I give the best when it comes to the presentation. Then you have learned it, and there is no point in being less confident there because you already learned it and you know it. Then the presentation is more than enough. Like but the situations, like where the situations put your confidence down. I always say to the students and the business people whom I meet in my daily life, like confidence is something which is variable every day. There is something which is very common here, fear factor. The score of fear is always zero. Right? The score of fear is always zero. Right? It is a factor, the confidence factor, which moves up and down. If the confidence goes below the fear factor, then you feel not you feel very less confident. You don't feel confident at all. Be in any situation. And if your fear no if the confidence is all above the fear level, obviously you feel confident in any particular situation. And now it becomes very important how to keep your confidence always above your fear. And how to keep your confidence above the fear factor depends on the preparation what you do and depends on the how prepared to meet a particular situation. Say for example, right now with the situation we are facing here in Chennai, we have say for example the COVID situation, right? And most of the businesses are following. Some of the businesses are very good, and some businesses are very bad. There are a lot of people who lost their employment, but still, when you face the situation, when you are ready to accept, when you are ready and accept the situation and face it boldly, you will always have confidence rather than fear. And here the acceptance factors works out better. When you accept things, yes, this is the situation. Okay, this has happened. What should I do now? And the same question, what should I do now? And that makes you move further from the situation. Okay. Okay. Next question. And how to focus on our profile building. Okay. Profile building is something, say for example, you are working in a particular sector, say IT sector or in a civil engineering sector, say for example, you are a civil may I have your graduation, maybe something, maybe if possible, otherwise not needed. So I will give a general example. If a person is in IT sector, say one is working in CSC, okay, well and good. So computer science engineering, well, so it is related to IT sector. So now we are going for cloud-based management, cloud-based servers. We go for sometimes some companies go for physical infrastructures, etc. Right? And now machine learning is one part which is always which has come up. Robotics and wherever computer science engineering can be utilized. And if your alignment is towards that, you can always take up the course based on that. Say for example, you have done a computer science engineering. Maybe you can do a PhD postgraduate diploma in cybersecurity, and that will add upon to yours. And if you are feeling that you want to have a what is that? Say for example, you are good at hacking and you are into it, and you go for white hat hacking courses, ethical hacking courses, etc. So these will definitely build your profile now. This is your educational profile. And the projects which you do, apart from the school projects, apart from the project which you did in your college, and you should always remember to take up some work to keep yourself engaged and find out solutions. And that project can be maybe released into the public so that your profile is further built. And this is one way where your profiling can be built up. And you should gain the best thing here when I say when the word comes profile building, which means you got to be an active aggressive learner. Simple. And when you're doing that, obviously you will be a no, your profile will obviously be building up, right? Yeah, I think I understand how empathy intelligence differ from emotional intelligence. The empathy is something which comes in the fold of the emotional intelligence. Like emotional intelligence is a bundle of certain factors, and empathy is part of that. Right. So in emotional intelligence, we have something called self-awareness, that is knowing one's own emotions and how to handle our own emotions, etc. Likewise, empathy is something knowing others' emotions, and that is used for influencing, when it comes to influencing ability. When you know the others emotions, you can obviously, there are, this goes like this. There is a person who will always be, accepting help only when you have, say for example, okay gentlemen, you are doing really good, wonderful, I wish you must do one more work for me. Okay, this is okay for one person, but for the same, for that person, if you ask, come on, I have one more work, you do this work, right? And this fellow denies. Why he denies? The way we approach, because it doesn't allow, he doesn't allow such kind of behavior towards him. That's the reason. Okay, so emotional intelligence, empathy is a part of emotional intelligence. Okay, good. During a chaotic conversation, when one tries to put him or her into the other's shoes to understand that person, but he or she does not cooperate. Okay, what shall we do then? And should remind the same situation to calm down or speak out to make the person understand. Okay, is it in workplace or in family? Okay, mostly elderly one, which means mostly it must be in family, even, right? Especially in cases where the person whom we are addressing is an elderly one. Well, wonderful. So during a chaotic conversation, sometimes silence speaks louder than the conversation we have. Okay. To understand better, we should listen first rather than going into a conversation. So when we listen to them very clearly, we will be able to understand that, what they actually think. What are the factors which they need. And once you understand them very clearly, then you can start your conversation. Let's not spark it. Let us spark the. Could you explain both family and work? Okay, sure. Okay. So generally, what happens? No, you listen to them first. When it comes to family, let it cool off. Don't be spontaneous in having the conversation, because small aspects become a disaster because of the spontaneous reactions in family. So I would suggest not to have spontaneous reactions, rather than listen, hold it on for some time, let it cool down, and then speak out. And this is what the mantra I would say in case of family. And there are certain issues which needs to be addressed very immediately. And for those aspects, I would suggest you to, and that depends on your situation. So for those aspects which needs immediate responses, I would suggest you to respond in such a way that you are not hurting others. When you keep that in mind, it will be very easy in case of family. When it comes to work, completely listen, present with rationality. When it comes to family, it is particularly, when the conversation goes up, you should always address the factors of emotion. When you speak out rationally, it won't work out there, because it is a family. You are emotionally bonded, not rationally bonded. First of all, we should understand that family is not some. Of course, rationality will be there, nothing wrong with that, but still, it is always the emotional factor which is gone beyond that. Okay, so address the family with the emotional factors, with the emotional aspects, and address the workspace in terms of rationality, right? And address the individual in your workspace with emotion. That's what I would suggest. Okay, that way I think the conflicts can be resolved. Be in any situation. especially, okay, fine, could you explain what's family? Okay, then. Sometimes we feel that person is elaborating too much than required, and it irritates you. Continuous talking, how to deal with that, and how to cut off without being disrespectful. Okay. Sometimes we feel that person is elaborating too much than required, and it irritates you. How to, like continuous talking, how to deal with that, and how to cut off without being disrespectful. Wonderful. I would appreciate that. First of all, you wanted to be respectful to others. That's really great. So, how to stop people talking like that? Maybe you can. No, you should interfere. You should not cut off just like that, because when we talk something, when we try to put across certain questions, here asking questions will be better. Okay, how to deal with that? By putting up more questions. Right. Maybe if you come out with one question, second question, and third question, you should lead away to the other factors. Say, for example, now I am talking about the interpersonal skills. Now there are a few questions coming up. So can say for example, there are a few questions already there. It is going on. You can put up a question. So how do you feel this day was? Right. And obviously that's a goodie for me, and I'll say, oh, okay, fine. My day was really good. It was amazing, and that's it. First point. Second, somebody is asking, so what dish do you like? So at this point of time, what do you like to have? Right. And the conversation is going on. I think it's a nice time. Would you like to have coffee? Yeah, that's a breaker. Okay. So you do that. Right. When you put that, when you change the topic, and obviously, when you change the topic, it is very easy when you concentrate on the food, like coffee, tea, go for a walk, etc. And these things will do better, and that will be a better way to approach without disrespecting others. Okay, thank you, Chaitanya. Any other questions? You are welcome.
If you have any more questions,
Thank you.
you are free to ask the questions. So we have a few more minutes left out. You can just go on asking the questions right now.
One more question. I don't like to talk much in general, and people take that as a sign of disrespect. What you might recommend? Okay. Yes, as the question goes like this. One more question. No, I don't like to talk much in general, and people take that as a sign of disrespect. What you might recommend? I would recommend to speak few words. That's it. Nothing much. Right. If you want the relationship to be carried on further and to show the respectfulness to them, I think speaking, opening out some few words is more than enough. Right. Here, sometimes we got to accommodate. That's where the social skills go up. Okay. So that is one factor. And responding in a wonderful body language is another way. Maybe when they talk and you have a very good body language, I mean, when their body language responds to their needs, like, yeah, if you say yes or no, whether you understood or not, and that way, I think the communication will be better between people. Right. And that's the best way we want to talk to people. That's it. key phrase where there is less chance of job giving than the takers or the peak personal situation. The main key phrase where there is a less chance of job giving than the takers or at the peak. Okay. So, do you think is it correct or not? And what do you do to increase the provisions of jobs? Okay. Do you think it is correct or not? And what to do to increase the provision of job? Entrepreneurship is the best thing I would suggest here. Right? Being rather than being a job seeker, be a job giver. I think that will be the best result. The government of India has already started a lot of initiatives to show, say, for example, Startup India is one thing. It is also providing loans to Mudra schemes, etc. I think entrepreneurship is something which can rectify these factors. Do they provide loans, sir? That's a question out of my purview. That should be, the right approach to the banks might help you. That's it. Well, it's a wonderful goodie. Thank you. Do they provide loans? Certainly, I don't know exactly. But there are certain schemes which actually provide. I'm not exactly working on it. So you might be asking the correct people in the right sector. Maybe banking sector is the right way for that. Okay. Thank you, Chaitanya and Prashant Kumar. Any other questions? People typing. Thank you, Mr. Prashant Kumar. Thank you. Any other questions, please? I would like to give it. Someone talking? I'm not able to hear. Surya, are you there? I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
In instances where the person we talk to keeps justifying his point as right, but does not let us to speak for justify us, what could be done? Remain silent for a while, that's the best solution because you cannot explain to a person who is not ready to listen to you. That's very clear. So when a person is not ready to listen to you, you better listen to them quietly, and time will come to obviously these kind of factors happens in most of the factors like this happens in our family, and sometimes it happens in workspace too. That we will not be getting a chance to justify the point as whether we are right or wrong. And here, in most of the cases, if it is a working workplace, present, present through the letter, then know what rationality you presented it. That's it. If it is a workspace, if it is going to be a family situation, a family situation or a relationship, I would rather say listen, listen, listen. Finally, when it is cooled off, open up your right point at the right place. Right? The state of mind should be changed. When the person is still in the same state of mind, then obviously he or she will not be able to listen to you. So you should let the state of mind change. Here the state of mind involves, it involves, it has a very great impact. So the state of mind changes, obviously this will change. Okay, and that's the way, that's how we could be, be successful in justifying our points to others when we have conflicts. Okay. Thank you for thank you. Thank you. I hope I answered the question. Yeah, thank you. True, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Chaitanya is coming home. I think. Having question? Yeah, can I take the silence as no question? Students type, no typing, somebody is typing. Okay. Surya?
I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah, one more question is there. One out of the context question, sir. Since no one is asking, do having different political perspective will really affect the relationship in the long run? Okay, having different political perspective. It's better when it comes to relationship, do not discuss the different political perspectives because that might hamper the relationship. Right? If the other person who is at the receiving end is not able to accept that, obviously there will be a problem in the relationship in the long run. Might be there might be an issue which might crop up within the short term too. Right? So I would suggest when in case when you have different political perspectives, the person on the other side should also should be open minded to understand that. And only if they understand that is possible. Thank you, Deepak Kumar Verma. Thank you so much, Mr. Deepak Kumar Verma. Right? And Chaitanya, this is what is very important. Right? When if the other person is open minded, then it is well and good. If one is having a closed mindset, then it is obvious that it will affect the relationship very short, even in the short term factor, it will affect. Not you will not wait for the long run. In the short term factor will affect. Okay. So when it comes to political context, you can keep it away most of the time so that the relationship is maintained. Right? Thank you. Thank you, Chaitanya. Thank you. Nice presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Ma. Nice. Thank you. Any other questions?
If you have any more questions, you can just go on asking the questions. We'll end up the session in probably in 1 or 2 minutes of time.
Well, I think
Yes, man. It was a
it
nice
was
session.
great.
Thank you so much.
It was nice. So thank you, Surya, and thank you to the whole team who's behind this.
Sure.
And thank you, Surya.
Yes. Thank you so much, people. Meet you tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, with another webinar session. So until then, bye and good night.
Thank you for that.